My name is Damon Rosendahl. I work for Four Wall Entertainment as a project manager, and we work in a variety of situations from auditoriums to outdoor performing arts centers, architectural entertainment, all the way through themed lighting, full themed attractions in supporting their lighting needs, but also other integration in related roles such as rigging, superstructure, and audio systems. We've had a long-term relationship with not just the venue, but in particular the design team here, Theater DNA, who's used us on several different projects, not only here, but across the city. They brought this need to our attention that the space was looking for an upgraded lighting, truss structure, and speaker installation that would serve the community in a sort of a centralizing, bringing the community together right here on a central plaza where they can enjoy special events such as the holidays all together.
My name is Michael Ferguson. I'm a principal designer at Theater DNA Creative, and we're the designers for the architainment lighting and audio systems here at the Long Beach Convention Center and Entertainment Center. So we've worked on the Long Beach property for a few years now. It started off in the Pacific Ballroom, renovating their existing arena into a 40,000 square foot flat floored event space. So it's a pretty cool turnkey event space that they use in complementary ways to their convention center. So what we've been working on for this project is essentially expanding the lighting here in the plaza to kind of create a more festive environment. And the kind of one of the final pieces of that was to add audio. As you guys know, it's really important to be able to kind of create an atmosphere, especially at the holidays, with audio. So that was the last piece that we were able to bring online for them. As everyone, we were on a search for a speaker that essentially floated in midair, was really cheap, and sounded great. So since those things don't exist yet, we started doing our research and found that the Deva was one of those amazing new products that allowed you to transmit the audio via Wi-Fi or other RF or FM. And we were able to essentially deploy it around the property only using existing power infrastructure, and then transmitting the audio signal through Wi-Fi from our existing control location.
The Deva system allows a year-round, day in and day out audio presence here out on the plaza, widely distributed, bringing it down very close to all of the crowds, as opposed to one huge system at the end with all the reverberations and issues that you would bring it there. So the local speaker system really does bring engagement into all of the audience members as they're out and around the plaza, whether they're all communing in the same single performance or whether it's much more they're milling about during the myriad of parties and other supporting activities they have for the trade show and performing arts venue that they have here. The Deva system was brought to us by the theatrical designer, Theater DNA, who really played up some of the flexibility and the unique ability to sync lots of different wirelessly connected speakers over a wide area and not need to worry about things unique to this this site, which included local power being on during some times of the day and off during other times. The local battery backup was pretty unique in our estimation in terms of providing a whole package. They're able to ride through any normal timed power cycling and to provide that reinforcement at any time of the day or night. The nice thing about working in a performing arts venue in support of a performing arts and trade show space like we have here is you get to explore all the nooks and crannies of the capabilities in that your need on one day may be Christmas tree lighting, then it moves on to supporting a beauty contest, then moves on to a bit more raucous crowd surrounding a comedy event, and then into a month-long of Nutcracker, where you're sending out the holiday vibe across the entire plaza. And then, of course, it's a communal gathering place throughout the week for citizens and residents of the Long Beach community at large. So you're going to have so many different needs. Background music is the baseline that the end users express that they want to bring that out to here so they can set the mood, set the tone throughout the week. But then live reinforcement, where the selective muting will allow them to bring in different elements of it, of the plaza, without stepping on or conflicting with their local sound reinforcement, which might be different activities for different edges of the plaza, or be able to selectively bring down programmatically the levels in particular places to match their check-in needs of various different trade shows, to match the concessionaires' needs in terms of their ability to address that. And then, of course, I think a lot of people are looking forward to the use during the Grand Prix, which is obviously a wonderful exposure for the city of Long Beach.
Charlie Byrne, General Manager, Long Beach Convention and Entertainment Center. For the Convention Center and the campus, as we call it, last year we had about 1.4 million visitors and guests come through our doors, which is unheard of. We do a lot of different events, and I think that's what makes us unique in the Convention Center market, if you will. We want to give our visitors an experience that they won't forget, as well as our community downtown. It's great to see we've added trusses, we've added music, speakers, awesome, and we want to create this as a hub for people to come during the holiday season, take pictures, be with your family. We have the Nutcracker coming up, which is a phenomenal production in downtown, and we want people to enjoy it and be outdoors.
The property that we're sitting on is an SMG property, and so the bombing in Manchester was actually an SMG property. So the day after that event happened, worldwide, their security protocols changed. So not only does that change how they get people on and off the property, it means they want to be able to make property-wide announcements, which they couldn't until we installed the Deva. They also wanted to be able to put announcements stating that the plaza was closed. So that's important because then it makes it possible for you to remove people from your property if you've told them that the property is closed and they remain there. So kind of those little hidden features that maybe wouldn't be something that an audio designer would think of as being important for a property owner are critical. The ability to interact with a patron who can walk up to a speaker and that proximity detector warns a security guard that there's somebody in front of it, and he can turn a light on and through his microphone talk back to that person and get feedback instantly is critical. So in a city like this that has a lot of people in an open space, that could be something that's really important to them in the future.
I think there's a stunning amount of flexibility in the individual cabinets that provide so many, especially because they're so small and so independent. The battery backup provides the flexibility to deal with non-standard power configurations, and the PoE option is one that I'm particularly excited about in taking a look at seeing what other projects we're working on may not have an entire amplifier rack and 120 volt system that they want to place close to all these locations, but to be able to use standard tools and techniques to be able to extend sound reinforcement into sort of areas that would have been impractical before and people never really thought of because of the difficulties of getting it there.
Well, as it should be, everything these days is really easy to control through a computer app. The app was great because it was really intuitive. It's easy to kind of point and click. Even when we didn't know what we were doing, we were inside the software trying to break it, frankly. And essentially we were able to get things turned on and off, grab audio signal, route it to different things, turn it on and off at different times a day. And that was really all before we were trained. So after the training, clearly we understood how to do those things correctly, but we essentially probably got 80% of it just by pointing and clicking in the program itself.
The individual control provided by the app and the computer-based controller allow a great deal of flexibility that can customize the signal for individual speakers, be able to mute them at a moment's notice, be able to bring live reinforcement through push-to-talk capabilities to allow the end users to be able to use this in a very customized fashion. They can be able to change just from one moment to the other. Something that a different speaker system, a different control system would require rewiring and a total re-engineering of it to change from one purpose to another.
As you know, right now in the marketplace, there's not really anything like the Deva. And so I think it's a singular product worldwide. So it's kind of amazing. So what we essentially did is we asked for a shootout of a Deva against the existing speakers that we had on the property that would need to be wired. And at the end of the day, the Deva stood up to it. It sounded as good as the wired speaker did. And we were able to save all that money on the kind of the install cost. The other part that is for exciting, which we haven't taken advantage of yet, but we are on the next phase, is adding the other features that the Deva has that allows us to take advantage of camera features, proximity features, those kinds of things that are a little more security minded.
I think there was some concern initially that would the audio from a wireless system be able to match up to what you can get over a wired system, especially when you're looking at an all-weather condition like this. But we, from the moment that the speakers were able to connect wirelessly, we were impressed, very impressed, especially with the vocal ranges, the mids and the highs, the intelligibility, how smooth it all was all the way through all those ranges. It make it really, that's where it's very useful. That's what makes it so useful to bring it out. My experience has been that as soon as you get your wireless transmission solid, that everything pretty much drops into place. It's very automatic. Once you've got your backbone squared away, it's super smooth.
One of the problems we have here is that we have condominiums that are literally at the edge of the property. So we needed to be able to distribute the audio and have it at a low sound pressure level so that we weren't just cranking it from one location. So even at that low level, we were able to get a really good audio signal, very clear intelligibility. We tweaked a little bit of the EQ settings because we have a fountain on site, so it kind of blasts audio at a certain frequency, but we were able to adjust that very quickly inside the app and get it at a level that is perfect for people walking around the property and not loud enough that the people in the condominium would be disturbed. Well, one of the things that we like about it a lot is that since it doesn't necessarily require an audio cable, meaning it still requires power, but actually I would note that for a while we were actually going to use the solar powered version. That was going to be a solution because we didn't have power in a certain location. It ended up being that we didn't need to do that, but I know that if we're able to put speakers into the parking lot area of this property, they don't have power out there. So for us, being here in Long Beach, I think we have 310 days of sunshine a year. The solar option is a great way. Not only is it green, but it gives us safety, but it allows us to get audio out into other parts of the property.
The Deva system adds to the experience that we want to create downtown. It's a beautiful system. Its clarity is awesome, and we want people to enjoy it and feel like they're almost in their backyard or their front porch. It doesn't matter for holiday season. And we also wanted it for security purposes, where we can make announcements if we have an issue or anything or a concern that really helps us with the community.